Story title: The Moscow Gambit. Chapter 1: The Sky Unveiled. On the morning of December 26, 2024, an icy wind swept through New York City, chilling both the city dwellers and the unsuspecting staff at John F. Kennedy International Airport. It began as an ordinary day, the steady stream of aircrafts punctuating the sky, each chasing the other in an orchestrated ballet of international travel. However, this rhythmic routine was abruptly shattered when an unexpected blip appeared on the radar, causing a ripple of confusion amongst the air traffic controllers. The aircraft, an Ilyushin Il-96-300 PU, with the tail number RA-96019, belonged to the Russian government's elite Special Flight Squadron, Rossiya. Designed exclusively for high-ranking Kremlin officials, its unscheduled landing at JFK stirred an immediate frenzy. As the plane glided onto the tarmac, a disquieting silence enveloped the control room, soon breached by the insistent ringing of telephones and the blurred voices of officials requesting, demanding explanations. Inside RA-96019, tension permeated the air. Seated discreetly towards the back, Dmitry Volkov, a senior aide to the Russian foreign minister, discreetly observed the closed briefcases nestled under arms and the anxiousness evident in his colleague's demeanor. Dmitry understood the gravity of their mission, an endeavor cloaked in secrecy even to him, and wondered about the contents of the sealed compartments hidden in the aircraft's fuselage. As the plane taxied to a secluded area of the airstrip, a convoy of black SUVs sped forward, dust swirling at their abrupt arrival. Standing by, a team of U.S. intelligence agents, led by the astute and ever-composed Agent Sarah Mitchell, prepared for the imminent interaction. Mitchell, seasoned by years of negotiating delicate geopolitical situations, silently pondered the implications of this landing, her mind racing with possibilities ranging from the mundane to the catastrophic. Moments later, Dmitry and his entourage disembarked, faces taut with the strain of their diplomatic gambit, a riddle wrapped in an enigma headed for the highly fortressed avenues of Washington, D.C. The media vultures, thwarted by airport security, circled at a distance, their cameras poised but unsatisfied, hungry for the story concealed beneath layers of international intrigue. Chapter 2: Echoes at the Kremlin. Back in Moscow, amid the ancient, labyrinthine corridors of the Kremlin, a quiet but fervent whisper traversed its walls. A meeting was underway, shrouded in secrecy, the participants veiled in shadows as determined as their expressions were unreadable. High-ranking officials, including General Ivan Sokolov, recently elevated due to his shrewd acumen, gathered for what would be a pivotal discussion in Russia's modern history. Story General Sokolov, a man of stalwart demeanor, was no stranger to geopolitical chess. His piercing eyes surveyed the room, settling momentarily on each member as they addressed plans laid out by the Kremlin. In the shadow of their meeting loomed a secret he neither trusted nor approved of, whispering dangers greater than any conventional enemy: political subterfuge. At the heart of Sokolov's apprehensions was the purpose of that unscheduled flight to America, a move as audacious as it was perilous. With the release of potentially incriminating information about former President Donald Trump hanging in the balance, Sokolov considered the broader implications. The information, sourced from classified and shadowy origins, promised to disrupt not just American politics, but the tentative détente between East and West. While the other officials pondered the outcome as a strategic gain, Sokolov privately deliberated a question that had plagued him for days. What alliances arise from the ashes of uncertainty, and what truths, when spoken, can unravel the tapestry of nations irrevocably? As discussions pushed into the late hours, it became clear that the flight's mission could herald an era fraught with new alliances and enmities, each leaving an indelible mark on the pages of modern diplomacy. Russia was playing a game not of chess, but of chess on a board with shifting dimensions, each move singular in its potential to alter futures and fates. Chapter 3: Windows of the Past. Thousands of kilometers away in the heart of Washington, D.C., the air was tense. President Biden and Vice President Harris had returned hastily from their holiday retreats, each word of their briefings delivering seismic shocks. The Vice President, Kamala Harris, sat engrossed in discussion with her chief advisor, analyzing every possibility as pressure continued to mount. As the day slipped into dusk, the corridors of the White House buzzed with the presence of officials and emissaries, each conjecture more complex than the last. But at the forefront of Harris's mind was a singular question. What drives the Russian Gambit, and how will its revelation impact both domestic and international equilibria? The incoming dossier purported to contain incriminating evidence implicating Donald Trump in alleged acts of treason. If it were true, the implications were profound. A sitting president accused of betrayal by a foreign power. Such revelations would ignite political chaos, shaking the confidence of the American populace and altering the geopolitical status quo. As meetings pressed on into the night, President Biden, leaning on decades of experience, sought counsel from a trusted circle of advisors. Among them, his oldest confidant, Secretary of State Elaine Brooks, who captured the room's attention with her measured insights on the delicacies of foreign diplomacy. They had weathered various storms together, yet the complexity of these dealings felt wholly unprecedented. "Story Elaine, how do we stance?" Biden implored, his voice underscored by the gravity of the situation. "Carefully, Mr. President," she advised, her composure a bulwark amid the brewing chaos. "Our response must be measured to avoid triggering further escalation. However, we must prepare to navigate unfriendly narratives both domestically and internationally." The gap between these discussions and Moscow's own plotting presented a window of vulnerability. Each side anticipated the other's move with a mixture of calculated caution and hidden trepidation, cognizant of the stakes involved. This unscheduled flight, carrying the shadow of history and potential scandal within its hull, seemed to unite disparate elements into a singular moment of truth and reevaluation. Chapter 4. A Meeting in Shadows. At a secluded estate, far from the public eye, Dmitry Volkov prepared for a clandestine rendezvous set by unseen architects. The meeting, shrouded in secrecy, was crucial, evoking images of past Cold War exchanges now set against a modern backdrop. Dmitry's heart raced with anticipation and the weight of duty. In a discreet clearing, he met with Agent Mitchell, who arrived with her characteristic quiet strength. Her role in mediating this subterranean exchange was vital, a rare instance of direct dialogue between representatives of nations often at odds. Both understood that much hinged on the outcome of their interaction. With heavily encrypted communications buzzing between their respective capitals, the meeting unfolded under the unwelcome glare of international scrutiny. Agent Mitchell, chosen for her dogged dedication to truth and chain-of-command loyalty, found herself on the knife's edge of diplomacy. Respectful yet wary, Dmitry began, "You understand that what we have sent carries immense consequence. The era of information warfare demands transparency, but we seek collaboration in managing the disclosure's impact for the benefit of broader stability." Agent Mitchell nodded, reciprocating his sentiment with an awareness of the realpolitik at play. "Our interests align on one crucial aspect, Dmitry. Avoiding rebuild trust incrementally, striving for transparency in an era marked by both its necessity and its daunting challenges." Although the shadow of the Moscow Gambit lingered, it catalyzed critical dialogue sorely needed in a world yearning for peace while constantly edging towards division. In the United States, the political landscape adjusted gradually. Emboldened by the revelations, reform-minded legislators pushed for changes aimed at strengthening democracy's resilience against foreign and domestic threats. These policies, inspired by necessity, echoed an era remembered for both its trials and its triumphs. Globally, diplomats aimed to restore balance, each cautious step forward a testament to humanity's capacity for reflection and growth. Simultaneously, Russia navigated its own introspection, facing internal challenges with a resolve sharpened by recent events. Story. As corridors of power quieted and international affairs settled, a subtle understanding emerged, stitched between nations once more willing to engage with the careful deliberations and measures that diplomacy at its best offers. Ultimately, the events of December 26, 2024, marked not just a period of tension, but a pivotal moment, forcing a re-evaluation of a global order frequently taken for granted. In the wake of the Moscow Gambit, the world emerged more conscious, aware that peace is not merely the absence of conflict, but the presence of unyielding dialogue and the resolute pursuit of understanding. Epilogue. Echoes of understanding. Years later, as diplomats and journalists inevitably crossed contacts at global summits and international gatherings, the tale of RA 96019 lingered in conversations as a reminder of the roads once traveled and lessons learned. For Dmitry Volkov, now a respected figure within Russia's foreign ministry, each negotiation bore the marks of experience honed through crucial moments in the nation's history. For Lena Markov, her continued pursuit of truth and justice remained unflagging, her work highlighting the unbreakable bond between freedom of the press and democratic integrity. In this transformed world, disparate voices once burdened by rivalry began to echo a shared commitment to peace and progress, each dialogue forging a path toward futures more interconnected and hopeful than ever before. In the grand mosaic of international relations, the Moscow Gambit stood out as a testament to the power of decisions and the enduring strength of those who, when confronted by uncertainty, chose ultimately to build bridges rather than walls across continents.